Okay. Good morning, everybody. I bet you think it's Monday, right? We all think it's Monday. Today is not Monday. That's right. It's not Monday. It's not It is Tuesday, isn't it? It is today's Tuesday. What a great Tuesday. Thank you. And welcome aboard, everybody. Welcome aboard on a lovely Tuesday morning. And, of course, the Memorial Day weekend means that it's 1/3 of the season has now disappeared. And really got to look at your teams. And don't forget, there are some that think, well, you know what, I'm 10 home runs behind the pack. So if I wait for the midpoint, I'll be able to spend the second half. Since they got 10 home runs ahead of me, I'll be able to catch them because I'll obtain a new player or two, and that'll give me the lift in the second half. But don't forget, when you are 10 home runs behind, that means you got to be 10 home runs better just to catch up. And if you start catching up at the mid-year point, you're going to lose. It's not going to be enough time. You got to start doing it now. You've got to start, especially the counting categories. The percentages, once again, if you can't seem to make that trade for the 300 hitter or for the sub-3 ERA and 1 whip, addition by subtraction usually works. So take that into account. Okay, welcome aboard, everybody. Nice to see everybody in the chat room. Glad that we made it in. Okay, now we can't, I remember back in the day when I was a real Met fan, I did remember Mookie Wilson coming up to bat and hitting that ball and Billy Buckner. And it's, it is very sad. Not only, of course, that he passed away, but because, he, one play defined him in his career, even though his career is well defined as one of the only 5 players with a 300-plus batting average from 1972 to 1982. Only one of 5. That's it. Rod Carew, Al Oliver, Pete Rose, Steve Garvey, and Bill Buckner were the only players to hit 300 in that 10-year span. And, of course, certainly Bill Buckner, a great player in his own right. And, I'm looking at the box scores from Sunday. See Javier Baez struck out 5 times. I see 16 players struck out 3 times or more on Sunday. Bill Buckner never struck out 3 times in a game. Bill Buckner made over 10,000 plate appearances and only struck out 453 times. Bill Buckner was what you would call a professional hitter, okay? So may you rest in peace, Bill Buckner, and away we go, okay? So easy, cell service is shady, power is out, okay? The round table may or may not be developed tonight, but I know that Lou and Cha-Cha will be coming up next. All right, let's go around the horn. Let's talk about the games of yesterday. Luke Weaver underwent an MRI Monday, diagnosed with a right forearm strain, okay? Seemed to be in a pretty good frame of mind, placed on the 10-day injured list, means he'll be certain to miss at least 2 starts, and even if it doesn't mean that he needs surgery, it could be a prolonged absence, and that would be a bad development for the Diamondbacks as he was in the midst of a breakout, posting a 3.03 ERA in just 11 starts. Tapia singled in the winning run. It was the Rockies' 3rd walk-off win in 4 games, and the Rockies won 2 of 3 over the weekend against Baltimore in their final at-bat. David Dahl lined a solo shot to center for his first homer since May 2nd. Nick Ahmad had a solo home run for the Diamondbacks, coming off a sweep in San Francisco, where they did match the franchise mark for a 3-game series by scoring 34 runs. Okay, there you go. John Gray had a solid outing for Colorado in his 100th career start. He went 5 1/3, 2 runs, left because he had a hot spot on his finger. Okay, so hot spot. So there you go. The Rockies won. That leader, Zach Greinke, was as usual. He was terrific, and now he has pitched so well that there may be some teams that may pony up and get to Zach Greinke. He's pitched 6 innings of 4-hit ball. He struck out 6. He walked 2. Now, over his last 8 starts, Zach Greinke is 4-1 with a 1.49 ERA. That's it. His only mistake was the Dahl home run. Greinke could be traded. They'd love to get that at least most of that contract off the books. Ahmad 2 for 5. If you listen to Andy and I on Sunday, I've been touting Ahmad and play him in the daily game. And when I say play him in the daily game, I don't necessarily mean that for that one day. You take a guy like Nick Ahmad, whose value should be fairly suppressed, okay? So you play him on Sunday, like I said. You play him on Monday. You play him on Tuesday. You can afford to put him in your lineup and then put some better guys in, okay? He's hitting 5 straight. He's 10 for his last 21, and he's raised his average to 273. So just roll it with Nick Ahmad. Play on the DraftKings and on the FanDuel and wherever you like. Atlanta in the first 54 of their 162 regular season games. All right, they're a game and a half out of first place, and they're confident that they're on their way up. They're 30-24. They're well on pace to match last year's 90-72 record. So the first 1/3 of the season, had their highlights and lowlights. They were swept by the Phillies in the opening series and then swept by the defending. Now, what are you doing? Holy mackerel. It's like a dump truck coming down the staircase. Holy mackerel. In the opening series, you can't just clomp and clomp. I don't even know who it is. All right? So, look, Atlanta got 12. No, I don't call you fatso. In 12 wins in the last 16 games, 5 consecutive series victories. But look, they had a lot of injuries in spring training, translated into injuries in the opening weeks of the season. But you can bet your sweet Pippi that the rotation has stabilized. 1-6-1 over the past 12 games. 2-8 for the month of May. And Mike Soroka, we know about him. We know about Max Fried. We know about Julio Teheran, who's allowed just 3 earned runs in 27 2/3 innings in his past 5 starts. And Fulton-Newich, who's had back-to-back Stella, in 4, but he's had a couple of shaky ones as well. The Cubs played the Astros yesterday, and Pedro Strop could return this weekend against St. Louis. He's got that left hamstring that sidelined him since May 6th, and if it holds up, he'll be back in there. He's, he's been having some problems even in rehab. But the Cubs, after surging to first place, their pitching staff and timely hitting has done it, but the Astros, oh my God, on Monday, the Astros 6-5 win by the Astros as they beat the Cubs. 8th loss in 13 games. Garrett Cole, 12 strikeouts in 6 innings. And here's what happened. The Cubs, if you saw that game or any part of it, the Cubs were just swinging like crazy. They were chasing balls out of the strike zone like it wasn't even close. So Cole approved 10-3, and against the Cubs with a 2.53 ERA. Anytime Cole goes against the Cubs, you got to play him in the daily game. What you should be doing, by the way, is you should be making some notes. Get a little pad, get something, get a little notebook. Garrett Cole, 10-3 against the Cubs with a 2.53 ERA. Next time he pitches against the Cubs, you look it up, and there you go. Now you know what to do. Addison Russell played shortstop Monday. But Javier Baez will be expected to return there. Russell could move to second base. Addison Russell, another interesting daily play, is devalued. He's on a 6 for 10 tear. Okay, so he is the attractive choice over Daniel Descalso, who went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Descalso is only 5 for 50 in the month of May. All right. Cole Hamels, 4 hits, 2 walks, and a 5-run third that sunk the opener of the 3-game series. And Cole Hamels, for the first time, he had 343 games in a row where at least 1 strikeout. 343. He hadn't suffered a game without a strikeout since May of 2008. Here comes the coffee. Okay, thank you, sweetheart. I was looking for you this morning. I came down and you weren't sleeping on the chair. So I had to go back upstairs to see where you were. And sure enough, there she was. 2 of those. So anyway, Cole Hamels, 4 hits, 2 walks, and a 5-run third. That really sunk it. He has only 13 innings in his last 3 starts. So be careful with Cole Hamels. He is a must-don't play, all right, for Cole Hamels in the daily game. I'm laying off him for a while. All right, the rotation that was the backbone of the Cubs after they rebounded from a bad start has now started to struggle. They have a 6.09 ERA. They're 5-8. Okay, and no Cubs starter has been credited with a win since the last road trip. That was when Kyle Hendricks yielded 4 runs, and he couldn't get through the 6th inning in Washington. But in the last full turn through the rotation, the Chicago Cubs starters are 0-3 with 24 earned runs allowed and 26 in the 3rd innings. So, no excuse when the opposing pitcher strikes out 12 in 6 innings for Hamels or anybody else to have a bad start. Okay, but the hitters, don't blame the hitters. They made this game close. They struck out 17 times against the Astros. But I'll tell you, and Roberto Osuna allowed 2 mammoth solo home runs. And that trimmed the lead to 1, but he stranded a couple of runners. So, look, I'll tell you, even David Bote got in. Rizzo cracked a 2-run homer in the first. David Bote, who I love to death, man. And he's not a bad daily game player. If you're looking for that cheap infielder so you could load up or stack other teams, be my guest and play David Bote. Make sure he's playing. He is now batting .264, 19 RBIs through only 46 games. Now, keep in mind, Chris Bryant is doubtful for today's game, according to Jesse Rogers of ESPN. It looks like Bote will start at 3rd. I'm playing him in the daily game. There you go. Okay? Playing him in the daily game. Albert Almora. I'm having a tough time today. Albert Almora, 1 for 4 with a solo home runs. 2 runs scored in Monday's 6-5 loss. 7 home runs on the season for Almora. 2 more than he hit last year. 1, and within 1 of his career high that he set in 2017. So he's been on a power surge. As I mentioned, Bryant surprised. It wasn't a surprise that he sat out Monday, and he'll probably sit out again Tuesday. I want you to remember that. Addison Russell, 3 for 4. Russell now has 2 3-hit performances in 3 days, batting at .289. Okay, 3 home runs, 5 RBIs since coming back to action. Okay, and Anthony Rizzo, since May 8th, Rizzo is hitting .386 with 6 homers. He has now hit safely in 9 straight games, hitting .486. If you leave Anthony Rizzo out of your daily lineup, you're making a mistake. He is on that hot streak. And Anthony Rizzo's 15th home run of the season. In 2012, he hit 15, his 15th in September. In 2013, he's just way ahead of the game. Last year, he hit his 15th home run July 29th. I'm sorry. July 29th. Okay? So, no, wait a second. June 18th. So he is just cracking the ball. Gurriel, 3 for 4 with a double, a run scored, an RBI. He's another player who is absolutely hot. His 3 hits